Okay, so a live stream just goes dark. A super controversial influencer completely disappears from the screen midstream. What happens next is a real-world emergency that shines a light on the dark side of a really disturbing online trend. This is what we know about the Clavicular incident.
That was brutal. These are the very first words the influencer, Clavicular, shared with his followers after everything went down. It's a pretty blunt admission that something went very, very wrong. At its core, this story is about that moment when the online persona shatters and a real-life crisis takes over. An influencer's live stream didn't just end, it totally collapsed, and it triggered an emergency response that played out far away from the cameras.
So let's break down exactly what happened on that Tuesday night in Miami.
All right, so Clavicular was live, streaming to his hundreds of thousands of followers, when they started to notice a really disturbing change. People in the chat were saying he seemed more and more out of it. And then, all of a sudden, the feed just cut out. Gone. Leaving everyone completely in the dark. That online speculation pretty quickly turned into a real-world event. City of Miami Fire Rescue actually confirmed that they were dispatched to an address in the city's Brickell neighborhood, which was right where this whole thing was taking place. And the official dispatch call? It was for a possible overdose involving a 20-year-old man. This detail not only confirmed Clavicular's age, but really hammered home just how life-threatening the situation was. Now, law enforcement has been pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing, but a source close to the influencer confirmed to CBS News what all of his followers feared the most, that he was in the hospital for a suspected overdose. So after he was hospitalized, Clavicular went back to social media to try and explain what happened, giving his own take on what he called a brutal experience. In a post on X, he explained his substance use as basically a coping mechanism, an attempt to feel neurotypical in public. I mean, it's a surprisingly candid and, honestly, a really troubling look into his state of mind. He also shared this incredibly chilling detail from his time in the hospital. He described the worst moment as seeing his face descending from the life support mask, a terrifying image that really shows you just how close to death he actually was. To really understand what led up to all this, we have to look at the online subculture Clavicular is famous for, the very controversial trend of looks maxing. So what in the world is looks maxing? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like, trying to maximize your physical attractiveness. But we're not just talking about going to the gym or getting a fresh haircut. It often involves some really extreme and sometimes pretty dangerous methods to change your appearance. And Clavicular has been just shockingly open about his methods. To keep that lean physique, he has publicly admitted to using methamphetamines to curb his appetite. And this is the crucial point, right? His drug use isn't some secret he's hiding, it is literally part of his public brand. This whole overdose incident, as shocking as it is, doesn't really exist in a vacuum. It's just the latest thing in a series of controversial and legally problematic events that involved this influencer. Because behind that online persona of Clavicular is Braden Peters. And it's that name that keeps popping up on police reports. This timeline here shows a really clear pattern of escalation. Back in February, he allegedly instigated a fight and posted it online. Then last month, he was arrested for it. And now, this week, he was hospitalized for a suspected overdose. The behavior is just getting more and more reckless and more dangerous. So when you connect all the dots, the dangerous trend, the legal troubles, the overdose on a live stream, it all points to this intense, destructive pressure cooker that this specific kind of online fame creates. Ultimately, the story of Braden Peters forces all of us to ask a really difficult question. In this relentless race for clicks, for followers, for notoriety, what is the true cost of controversial online fame?